I'm Saturday hauling for you guys today, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with one of the products that I ordered from the recent summer sale that Sephora did, and they didn't have it in my box, so they went ahead and they reshipped it. And it's the Farmacy Very Cherry Bright 15% Clean Vitamin C Serum, and this is a new product from Farmacy. I have a really sensitive skin type, and it's really finicky with vitamin C products, and I keep hearing just how good vitamin C is for the skin. So I wanted to give this a try because I get along with Farmacy products pretty well. I love their Green Clean Balm. I can't even tell you how many of those I've been through, and they recently came out with it in the cherry version. I ordered 4 because Farmacy had a sale on their website too. But this is what the box looks like. There's an ounce of product in here, and then it comes in a pump like that. I've been using this all week and I haven't had any reactions on my skin. I believe there are 4 types of hyaluronic acid in here as well, and I really noticed that when I put this on, I put it on during the daytime. I've only been using it once a day in the morning, and I really feel like I can notice an added moisture to my skin because I also have a drier skin type, and there's been no strange reactions. And again, my skin is pretty finicky with vitamin C, so I am just really hopeful with this product. It does have a really strong cherry scent, which does not come from any fragrance. There are no fragrances in this product. It comes from the actual cherry that's in the product, which I just think that's awesome. And then I ended up placing 2 more orders before the sale ended. One of my products had to ship ground. I purchased the new Shiseido concealer that came out, and for some reason it must be like, which kind of scares me because they like, I think they considered it hazardous, so they have to ship it ground. So I'm like, what's hazardous about the concealer? Anyway, that's taken a few more days to get here. The other order, I did purchase another one of the Givenchy Kohl Couture waterproof eyeliners in the shade 05 Jade. This is the eyeliner. You guys see me wear this probably 9 out of 10 videos. I wear this constantly on the waterline. It's just one of the most comfortable eyeliners for the waterline. It doesn't migrate a whole bunch into like my inner corners and stuff. After probably, you know, 5-6 hours of wear, it does kind of start to wear off a little bit, but it doesn't get everywhere around my eyes. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I opt for kind of a colorful shade as well, because black and dark brown and stuff like that is a little bit more noticeable when it kind of moves. But this one just, it does my eyes really well, and I have a sensitive eye. So I picked up another one of those. Again, that is the green liner that you see on my waterline in almost every video. Also from the sale, I got one of the Tarte High Performance Naturals Chrome Paint Shadow Pots. This is a newer shade. It's called Caramel Apple, and it comes kind of with that tweed box packaging on it. They used to have the stoppers inside the containers, and then now recently they've just been kind of loose in the box, and then the shadows kind of poofed out, so you got to put the stopper in there and press it down, which kind of leaves a bunch of product in the lid. But this is just a really pretty bronze shadow with silver micro glitters in it. It's just really, really pretty. I like to use these on the lids. They go on just very, very high shine, super metallic eyeshadows. I've got quite a few of these, and I think this came out with a collection if I'm not mistaken, and I'm hoping it's not part of a holiday collection. But that is the shade Caramel or Caramel Apple from the Tarte Chrome Paints. I just really like these eyeshadows, and it's got like that, again, silver kind of micro glitters in there. And then I was super happy that on the last day of the sale they launched the ABH Norwegian Pro Pigment Palette Volume 1. So I was able to get the 20% off of the palette, which this is a pretty expensive palette. I think it was $60. So I was happy to be able to get it during the end of the sale. When I first saw pictures of this on Instagram, I just kind of got really excited about it because ABH has been doing the same style of eyeshadow palette for so long. It was kind of nice to see something new from them. This is like the biggest palette that they've ever done. It does come in a hard plastic packaging, which I like. It's just easy to clean and whatnot. And inside of here there are 25 eyeshadows that are 0.063 ounces per shade, which is a pretty substantial amount of product. If you compare them to a lot of their other palettes, there's roughly between, most of them are 0.02 ounces, and then I think there was one that had a little bit more product. But this is, each shadow in this is like more than twice the size as a pan in one of the other ABH palettes. It says the eyeshadows and pressed pigments are made in the PRC, which is the People's Republic of China. And the majority of ABH eyeshadows in her other eyeshadow palettes are made in the USA. So I find it really interesting that these shadows are made in China. It doesn't say where the palette was assembled or anything like that. It just says that the eyeshadows and pressed pigments are made in the PRC. So knowing that, and this being a $60 palette, even though you're getting quite a bit more product, I kind of feel like the price point is a little high on this. You know, had they been made in the USA kind of with the same as the other ABH shadows, then I would kind of understand that a little bit better. But I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. Now, this palette here, I've heard all kinds of opinions on it and whatnot. My initial opinion was like, those are some interesting color combinations. You don't see this kind of pairing every day, and maybe it's just the way that the shadows are laid out. There is, I think, a grid line of how they do it. I never follow those anyway. I just dip into whatever. There are quite a few matte shades, quite a few shimmer shades. There are 2 shades that have the matte base with the sparkles infused in them, and that is B5 and D4. And then you've got quite a few shades of these shimmery ones that do have micro glitters in them. I don't find them to be like super chunky or anything, but this is the palette that I have on my eyes today. And the crazy thing about it is when you like look at this, the colors aren't just flush with each other. So you think of something like ABH's Modern Renaissance, all the shades correlate nicely together, right? When you look at this, you don't exactly see that. And I appreciate that by the fact that every time that I've used this, the looks just come out with a little bit of a unique twist because of that, and I appreciate that. It's really difficult to find eyeshadow palettes that do that nowadays. This one does that for me. Now, the matte shades do kick up some product, and I do get some fallout with those matte shades, and then the shimmery ones, I do kind of have to, you know, wiggle my brush into those shades to get them to pick up product. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some swatches of this guy. Again, this is the palette that I have on my eyes today. And even though it just looks kind of funky, I really dig it. And these next ones. I should also mention, I'm not going to read them, but on the back of the box, there are a ton of shades that have that warning not to be used in the immediate eye area. And I'm guessing it's because of the pigments are going to stain the skin. I haven't had no staining yet, but I do use a pretty kind of thick foundation primer, so that could be why. But I do always find it interesting when you got a palette like this and there's a bunch of shades that say not safe for the immediate eye area. Carrying on with these purples. They're very finely milled eyeshadows, those mattes. For a brow bone, what I've been doing is mixing this white in with this yellow, and it's been working out pretty good because there isn't like a type of beige, like light beige. But that's been working, and it's been working out quite nice. So I mean, those are some pigmented eyeshadows. And then these next ones. I'm going to show you these swatches before I wipe them off because I can't fit the rest of them on there. Right there. I am guessing that staining is the reason why it has that warning label, because it looks like some of these shades are going to stain, but let's go with, where do we leave off? This guy right here. This is such a pretty color too. Just the craziest array of colors that I have just been digging, combining colors that are just so not alike. And then this last row. This is such a poppin' shade right there. Ooh. Oh my gosh, my hand is on fire. And this very last shade right here, right there. Those matte shades are so finely milled and soft, but they are pigmented as all get out. So those are the last of the swatches right there from the Norwegian Volume 1 collection. Pro Pigment Palette Volume 1. Next up, Benefit came out with some new 24-hour eye pencils. It's the Bad Gal Bang. I got the shade Midnight Blue. I believe there were 4 shades available. There was a purple, a brown, a black, and I believe this blue shade. I'm always on the hunt for a really budge-proof eye pencil. Again, I really love the Givenchy ones. I typically wear a lighter shade in the waterline just because if it does migrate, you can't see it as well as like a black or a darker color, but there are times where I just wish for a darker eyeliner, but I don't want to have to put up with the fuss of wearing one, a darker shade. But I thought I'd give this a try, and this is the shade Midnight Blue. It takes some building up on the waterline. I have to go over a couple times, and after a couple hours it does wear a little bit on the outer corner and ever so slightly migrates to my inner corners, but it's not bad. I am half tempted to get this in the black shade as well, just because I felt like it wore pretty good for being a dark shade on the waterline. That being said, I do wish they came out with some, you know, lighter colors like greens and stuff like that, because I think the formula is pretty good. On the waterline, again, I do have to make a couple passes, so you can see right there, you know, it's not fully opaque unless I were to go like that. But so far, it's pretty decent. It's called the 24-hour eye pencil. Again, I typically use these pencils on the waterline, which is a little bit more difficult. On the skin, I'm sure it works out just fine. There is a little rubber smudger on one end as well if you like to smudge it out on the top lash line or bottom lash line. Also at Ulta, I got the last one that they had in the store, the Boss Babe Dolly eyeshadow palette. I had gotten the warm one, and then I was gonna place an order on the Ulta website. I think I had a coupon for something, and these were all sold out, and this one has been sold out online for a while, so I was really happy to see that they had one left in the store. These eyeshadows are pretty nice. They're nothing over the top. They're just something that's really easy to throw on and wear throughout the day. I don't think that you can kind of combine shades and come up with something that ever is going to be too much. They're quite muted shades and just really easy to wear. Each shade is 0.03 ounces, and there are 12 shades in here. This one is made in the USA. So you have got 1, 2, 3, 4 matte shades, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shimmers, and then you got High Society, which is kind of a matte base with some gold shimmers shot through it. And some of these shimmers are just really pretty shades, but I just feel like it's a good one for the everyday gal. Just an easy palette to throw on again. Got some pretty shades in there. And again, this one is from Buxom. These purples. I love their new lipstick formula that they came out with. I'm hoping like heck they come out with more shades because I just love the formula. I actually bought another one of the nude colors, which I'll show you in a minute because I think it's here as well because I love it that much. I wanted to keep one in my purse. See, these are stained a little bit from the Norwegian palette there. I'm guessing that is why it's got the... So ignore this one. That's why it's got that warning label on there. But that's not a swatch right there. That's a stain. And then these last 4 shades right here. There's a mirror in here as well, and a pretty thin cardboard packaging. So there are the swatches of the Buxom Dolly? Boss Babe Dolly eyeshadow palette right there. Again, I got this at Ulta. And this is the lipstick I was talking about. It's the Buxom Full Force Plumping Lipstick. I bought another one of the shade in Goddess because I just wanted one in here and I wanted one in my bag. So I bought another one. I love the formulation of this. It's got the yummiest sweet vanilla scent to it and just a very slight hint of plumping effect. Nothing overbearing or anything like that. But the formula is gorgeous. And they don't have a ton of wearable shades or at least the kind of wearable ones that I like. So I hope they expand the range because the formula is beautiful. So that's the shade Goddess, and I had to have another one. Do you guys ever love the smell of a lipstick so much that you pull it out just to smell it? If there was a perfume that smelled like this exact lipstick, I would buy it and I would wear it all the time because it just smells so good. I also purchased this guy. It's one of the Charlotte Tilbury Hot Lips with the refillable packaging. This is my favorite style design that they have, is the one with the panthers. This is This is Enigmatic Edward. This is the balm. So these are removable, so you can refill them and buy, you know, individual cartridges to put in the casing. But I wanted it to try out the balm, and because I like to carry around a lip balm, and I could have it in a fancy case. So it's just a clear balm. I do feel like the balm is a little bit lighter. I also purchased the new Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid liner. They only came out with one in the shade black. I had swatched it in the store and it just looked really nice and dark and saturated. It does have a felt tip on it as opposed to a brush, which I prefer a thin brush as opposed to a felt tip, but the formula looked really nice. I've worn this a couple times. This is what it looks like. And then here is the applicator. Again, it's a felt tip. It's just a really dark liner. So I've worn this a few times, and this is what I have found. I do wear a thicker wing. People like to give me a lot of flack for it, but I can't do a winged eyeliner and have a wing actually show up if I do it thinner, because the outer corner of my eye is so hooded, it will just cover up the wing. So in any event, I use winged eyeliner to also really lift my eyes because I have such a heavy hood. And what I found this eyeliner does is it has a slight tackiness to it, or something to it, where like when I was blinking and stuff, because when I relax my eyes, my hoods go down quite a bit. They almost touch my eyelashes. I felt like it was a little, I could feel some tact in there throughout the day, but what I really noticed was, you know, when I relax, my hood goes and touches that eyeliner and it picks up the eyeshadow, so the eyeshadow kind of sticks to it. So I'm not crazy about the formula of this guy. Originally, I thought I was just going to love it because it's so dark and such a super black eyeliner. I also purchased one of the Fenty Beauty by Rihanna Brow MVPs Ultra Fine Brow Pencil and Stylers. I got this in the Sephora store, so I was able to see the shades pretty good. I got the shade Medium Blonde, which I think the shade is really nice. This is what the packaging looks like. It's kind of got a triangular shape to it, and then one end has this little brush on it like that, which I think is kind of neat. It's a change from the spoolie, and then here is the other end with your pencil. And I like the shade. I like the way the pencil looks. I like that little brush thing on the end, but the pencil itself is pretty hard. Like, so when I would go to, you know, run it through my brows, I almost felt like I was using something sharp. I kind of prefer a little bit softer pencil because I don't like to push so hard. And it's a little bit of a stiff pencil, and it just, I don't like that. Oh, I just broke it off trying to get it. So it's a little bit stiffer, a little bit drier. Like I said, I just broke off the tip there from pushing so hard to get it to kind of swatch for you guys there. So I'm not nuts about the formulation of the pencil itself. So that is the shade Medium Blonde from the new Fenty brow pencil line. And then I purchased one of the new Dior fall blushes. I got the shade 823 Independent, mostly because curiosity killed the cat on this one, and I wanted to compare it to Chanel Notorious really bad because this is what it reminds me of. There is a really deep plum shade that looks quite pretty for fall as well that came out with the collection, and I keep going back and forth with the eye quints. I'm trying to decide, do I get one? Do I get both? Or do I get none? And I just can't decide. But anyway, I purchased this guy. It's again 823 Independent, right? Independent. And it has got a very gray undertone to it. Do you guys remember the craze that was Chanel Notorious? To this day, I still find that in terms of contour or a powder product that mimics an actual shadow on the face, that Chanel Notorious is still one of the best out there. It is such a thin formula. You just need like a little bit of product and it gives this actual shadow look to the skin. It's a pretty gray toned product, which I'm going to swatch it next to this guy. This has got more brown taupe to it. I have got it in the very backs of my cheekbones today. Granted, my camera does pick up darker colors stronger, so I noticed that when I like edit, my cheek looks a lot more harsh in the camera than it actually looks in person. But I do have it in the very backs of my cheekbones today, and it does make a very nice contour. This one has got a little bit more pigment than Chanel Notorious, and again, it's got a little bit more brown taupe to it. So there is Independent, and it does have a slight sheen. It's not fully matte, and neither is Chanel Notorious, but it's still a really pretty contour shade, I think. And then here is my used and definitely abused Chanel Notorious. My mirror has fallen out of there. Like a lunatic, I actually have 2 of these in my backup drawer. And you just need the tiniest amount of product, so like I'll never go probably through one, but yeah. So you can see Notorious pulls a little bit cooler and more gray toned compared to the Dior one, but still pretty good. This Independent shade, it's a pretty contour color for sure. And then lastly, I did purchase both of the new Kkw Beauty eyeshadow palettes. She came out with a another collection. I don't know the name of the collection, but there's a matte cocoa palette, which is a warm toned one, and then a matte smoke palette, which is a cool toned one. And I have been using actually the matte smoke palette quite a bit recently. I really get on with the Kkw eyeshadow formula well. They are also magnetized in the pan, so you can pull them out and kind of put them in a magnetized palette if you want, which I do always appreciate when brands do that. This has got that soft matte kind of feel to it, so they're getting quite dirty. But all the shadows are in here are matte eyeshadows, and there are 10 in each one that are 0.06 ounces per shade, so you're getting a pretty substantial amount of product. So let me go ahead and swatch these for you guys. I really like the Kkw eyeshadows. And these ones here, these matte palettes, are so fun to pair with like those new Marc Jacob holiday shadows that come in the pot, or like those Tarte ones that, you know, come in the jar. So fun to pair those shadows with palettes like these. And then this black right there. And then this last row. I think the shades in both palettes are coordinated really well. I don't get a ton of fallout with these shadows. They blend nice, they build nice. I think they got good pigmentation. And then this last one, which is a deep navy. Right there. And I bought them together. Like if you bought the bundle of the shadows, you did save some money on them. So that guy is the Matte Smoke palette from Kkw. And then here is the Matte Cocoa palette. I've actually worn this one a lot less than the other one. I'm just kind of moving into the cool tones. It's kind of fitting for fall, I suppose, but I miss my purples. I really like these palettes. There's the first 4. Let's watch this brown. And then these next guys here. I love these like kind of mustardy looking colors. And then the last one, which is a deeper brown, kind of a black and brown. So those are the swatches for the Matte Cocoa eyeshadow palette. Very pretty. And that is everything for my haul today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.